Hello, everyone, and welcome back. I'm Juhli Leman, and I'm so glad you're here with me again for another step in our journey of self-discovery. So in our last episodes, we learned a lot about handling our emotions. But managing emotions isn't a one and done skill. It's something we can always explore a little further, because our feelings touch every part of our lives, and often we have more questions than answers. Now let's reflect for a moment. How do our emotions affect the decisions we make every day? Have we ever woken up feeling low, sad, or stressed without knowing why? Or on another day, we just found ourselves smiling all day for no particular reason. This is something showing us that moods can shift very quickly, just how we react in different situations. So the big question is, how do we get more control over our moods, feelings, and mindsets? From our earlier discussions, we know emotions play a major role in shaping how we live. They influence how we relate to others and whether we feel at ease in our skin. But to live a happier life, we need to master our emotions better. So now let's take that first question. How do emotions affect our decisions? We have learned that our minds often hold two opposite mindsets, and we are constantly balancing between them. Sometimes we are not aware of which mindset is holding us at present. We need to concentrate on our reactions, where we find out how best to respond. If we have responded negatively by overreacting, we will learn how not to react. Now, this is a learning experience which will be very helpful to us, and we should keep it in mind. The first tool we have is, again, awareness. And we gain this through reflection, as always, and by self-examination. This we can do as often as possible. It is a very helpful tool for us to use at any time. So then we should notice and recognize how do we react in different situations. And further, what happened before the reaction? Can we spot an aha moment? Well, to the point where we realize something is happening inside us. There is something going on also in our body. We can now understand that our emotions begin at first as a mental experience, which is then followed by a bodily response. And then we have opportunity to interpret everything. And so we can respond with the right mindset. Mainly, we must watch out for our negative feelings and emotions at all times. These will always emerge when we haven't been able to let our feelings flow the way it has been suggested, and we probably have not acknowledged them. We can also find ourselves very upset after we have just done some reflections and have come to some recognitions and realizations. It can mean to uncover hidden fears in moments of conflict or anger. And this is when simply saying, "I'm having a bad day," is not enough. We need to ask why. Why do I feel this way? Why can't my feelings flow freely? Most of the time, it may be some concerns or worries we just haven't acknowledged. Then how can we best handle our negative emotions? We found out that we must watch our reactions first and then attend to them. So it is good to examine further and watch out for what is hurting us. The feelings and hurts that we did not acknowledge will keep haunting us, we may discover that we have fears which are usually hidden from our awareness. They can also show up as anger and conflict. So in that case, just letting it go is not a good idea, as we need to look further into ourselves and find out why all this is happening. When we overreact, most of the time it is because of our worries and the ones we haven't attended to and the feelings we have ignored. We now understand that our body is carrying these repressed feelings from the past. So the way forward is to soothe these feelings and attend to them and acknowledge them. We talked about how to care about our feelings and hurts in the previous segment. So we need to dig a little further now into ourselves to find some past incidents that may have hurt our feelings. It can bring us to tears, which is a good way to lighten our burdens. So then, because we need to look after all injuries we have received. Otherwise, they will be being stuck in our body and cause us further ailments. Our pent-up feelings can keep us from being present and open up to others. Apart from having worrisome mindsets and bodily health concerns, we are also not free to relate well with others. Troublesome relationships are also very responsible for the way we handle our emotions. Sometimes we choose people who are not good for us. And at other times we struggle to get close to someone we like to. So then we can also be reluctant to say no to others when it may be necessary. And these are all obstacles to our relating well with others. But presence of mind can be achieved by responding to others in helpful ways. Contrary to what we may believe, we need to find positive connections and understand our need for the connections. We can crave it sometimes, but still we tend to keep avoiding it quite often. We have many fears which become the hurdles for us to even try. We do again so much from being well connected with others, so we must learn to trust more. Our ability to trust others depends on how we feel about ourselves. We like to be valued and accepted by others. Therefore, sharing with others is important. It's important for our well-being. It can give us much comfort, and we may have good experiences when we connect with the right person. We need to avoid harm by judging others. Being able to put ourselves in other people's shoes can help us build empathy, which is very important for us to connect. A big part of solving these problems is to love ourselves. When we find compassion and patience for ourselves and truly care, we will solve many problems. More about relating with others will be covered in our upcoming segments. We'll also discuss being hurt and hurting others. So when we let our feelings flow freely, it can help us better manage our daily lives and finding the positive mindset we're looking for. And so this way we can resolve conflict so much easier. When we return to our positive and happy emotions, we also need to take care of them. Because keeping up the positive mindset needs empathy, trust, and intention. It is not easy, and it will require a little more work. One of the best tools to keep feeling good and stay happy is to practice emotional intelligence. We learned about it in the previous segment. We must practice it by keeping calm, being open to others, and learn to cope with our daily highs and lows. Practicing it, we not only control our emotions, we also use them to grow ourselves and connect well and handle challenges with confidence. When we keep up practicing emotional intelligence, we will acquire important skills which will make it possible to overcome many problems we already have encountered on our search for our happiness and fulfillment. So then we have the core skills for emotional intelligence, and they are as follows. Number 1 is self-awareness. Number 2, self-regulation. Number 3, motivation. 4, empathy. And 5, social skills. And all of these skills will help us well to reach our goals. So then, our closing thought is to help yourself to notice your emotions and remember situations which bring them up. And ask, what is the story behind your feelings? Be patient and remember to be compassionate to yourself. Looking ahead. So in our next episode, we will go deeper into our pesky emotional triggers. And first, what sets them off? And then, how to recognize them? And what to do when they surface. We'll also talk about certain negative emotions that may need extra attention. And in some cases, professional support may be needed. And remember, asking for help is a sign of strength, not weakness. Always thank you for listening. And remember, be patient, be compassionate, and keep learning about yourself. See you in the next episode. Thank you.